Welcome. It's Gull Khan, your money mindset expert. And guess what? I'm super excited. I've been trying to get this lady on this podcast for ages. As if you've heard from intro, she's an amazing kick-ass lady, but she's even more beautiful in person, and she's gorgeous soul, and someone I've worked with in the past, someone I know personally, and someone I have the privilege of calling my friend. So I'm so excited. She's finally here. Welcome, Melanie.
Oh my goodness, Gull. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for finally arriving at this podcast. We've been trying to arrange this for so long. And as we speak through today's episode, you'll understand why I was so excited to have Melanie here. She is amazing, but I'm going to let her tell you in her own words what it is that she does. What do you do, Melanie?
Okay, so right now, because I've done a million things before, but right now what I do is really on my mission. I'm on a mission to shine a light on people who have stories to share, and maybe they're not feeling as confident as they could. And so I help them with the best visibility strategist, depending on their personality, their goals, their mission, their message, and their business goals.
Fantastic. Now, you have done a million things. I think this has been quite a journey, and I've witnessed most in the last few years. I've seen it myself, and you've climbed the ladder, and I know you're ambassador for a few amazing things as well. But it's all well and good to be at this high level, maybe recognized as a leader. But how did you get here, Melanie? I know you have a journey that we've discussed before, and I would like you to share that. So how did it start for you? How did you get to this point?
Right, so that's a great question. And sometimes I can't really understand how I got here. And that's why I know I'm on a mission, because I can't really explain what I'm doing today if it were not because it's what I'm meant to be doing. So, my entrepreneurial journey started a long time ago. I've always been an entrepreneur. I think even as a kid, I was always creating things and trying to find new ways of getting my creations into the market, which at the time was obviously my parents' friends.
Of course.
And then, I've done a number of things. So my first business was a language school. I was a teacher, I was a translator, but deep down, I'm a creative mind. And I found that once we had created a very innovative methodology, we were doing things differently. We had a radio show when nobody had it, and we were teaching languages on the radio show. It just wasn't a challenge anymore. So I needed a different creative outlet. So I've always been a designer, self-taught, but a designer. And so I decided to pursue that career. So I became an interior designer. I'm also a jewelry designer. So I created a lifestyle brand, and my mission with that lifestyle brand was to make people happier, because I truly believe that beautiful surroundings make us more inspiring, more creative, more productive. So it was a very interesting combination of psychology and aesthetics. I always started from the psychological point of view, because depending on how you want to feel in a space or when you wear something, the aesthetics come after that. And I loved my journey. I had a very successful business offline, but then I was, tempted by all this online world, and I knew I wanted to do something. I knew I wanted to make an impact, but I didn't really know how or what. So I just started transitioning my offline business, and I created a system for people to create their own workspaces so they could feel productive and inspired. And I was seeing people doing video and not using the visual information. And visual information is actually 90% of the information that enters the brain. So there was a huge gap there that I know they could use to appear, to show up more professionally, to build credibility, to be able to sell, because I was seeing mostly entrepreneurs doing live streams. So I started helping people, and that's actually when we met.
That's when we met.
I was helping them show up more professionally by using the right visuals, by using the right backdrop. And now that seems like so far away.
Yeah, because you've moved so far away from there.
Oh my goodness, so much. And I'm
Yeah.
so happy I did. That was just like a short period. I knew it was really a short thing because obviously with virtual backgrounds, I knew that was a thing that was going to happen. And I'm always like really fast at seeing the trends. So that is sometimes helpful. It was in this case. Other times I've been too early for a business, so that hasn't been, you know, a good thing. But
I'm going to stop you for a second. I think that I remember having a conversation and you pointed a few things out to me, and as people can see from my background, you know, I still take that on board. I don't think everyone's using virtual because I'm not a big fan of virtual backgrounds. But what you taught me then is still somewhere in my back of my mind, subconsciously maybe, because I do keep that in mind, and it have the, like, my books there, and my brand colors are there, and my, you know, what's important to me, plants. So I kept that in mind, and I'm sure other people have. So I don't agree that virtual backgrounds can take over, but I do think that you outgrew that particular program, because you do so much more than that, and that was a very small piece of what Melanie is capable of doing. So I think you outgrew it, and you are so much more, and I can see you flourishing and growing even further. But that was a stepping stone to your journey, and I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that you are. I don't think it was you left it. I think you outgrew it because you're so amazing.
Thanks, Gull. Yeah, you might be right. I was seeing that the trend would fade away, not because, like, even today, I wouldn't recommend people use a virtual background for many different reasons.
Yeah.
And I must say, Gull, your background always looks amazing.
Oh, thank you.
So, but no, it's true. But just the mindset of the people, I think you need to meet people where they're at.
Yes.
And there was a point where they were not interested in backdrops anymore because they were seeing other options.
Yeah.
Those options are not, you know, my recommendation, but, you know,
everyone to their own. Yeah.
You know, everyone can do whatever they want to do. So yes, you might be right. There was so much more I could bring to the table that I felt I was a bit constricted.
Yes,
I
of course,
don't like feeling in a box. I'm too creative for that. So my own journey actually served as probably a springboard for what I do today. So I realized that by helping people show up more professionally, they felt more confident.
Of course, yeah.
And I was actually one of those people, because I used to be absolutely petrified. I mean, I would panic every time there was even just a photo taken of me. I hated cameras.
Really? That is so surprising. I mean, for those who are listening to this on the podcast, you wouldn't understand, you know, every time I've seen Melanie, she's beautifully presented. Actually, if you see the video, you see I'm like, without makeup, nothing, and I look very plain in comparison. Because every time I see you, you're always beautifully, perfectly, you know, done. And the makeup's bang on, spot on, nothing more, nothing less. Hair is always done. The background's always perfect. And you wouldn't think for a second that you would be camera shy. No, I actually didn't know that at all.
No, not many people know that, because actually I haven't owned my story until recently.
Okay.
But that's my story. I mean, I used to be absolutely petrified. I mean, I did my first video back in 2015, and it was pathetic.
Melanie, we all been through that. I look at my first one, I cringe. I'm like, oh my god! And I laughed so much. In that one, I was like, I had like one expression on my face, and I was a straight face, and I don't know why. It was awful.
It's so funny how much we can grow, actually.
Yes,
but that was meant to be a 15-minute tutorial. I was actually that's when I was transitioning my e-design project. So I was teaching a very simple, very basic tutorial on how to create a centerpiece. I mean, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes max. It took me like 13 hours to record. I couldn't even get my name right. I would start over and over and over. And I would say, like, I'm Melanie Falvey. I mean, it was just terrible, terrible, terrible. And I had such a terrible time. It took me a whole year to build up the courage to do another mini video in 2016. And I thought, this is just not working. So when I started helping people with their backdrops, I noticed that a byproduct of that or a side effect was that people were feeling more confident.
Yes.
And so what I tried to do is I tried to apply the same techniques, the same hacks I was teaching my clients. I created a system, a more organized system, and I applied it to myself. And I thought, if it works for me, it will work with anybody, because nobody is as shy or as scared as I am. And it worked. So I became my best testimonial. And that also gave me like the motivation, the encouragement to do it and to help more people and serve more people, because I know how powerful it is. Because believe me, I have never met any client who was as scared or as shy as I used to be. I'm still terribly shy, but luckily I've been able to overcome my fear of being on screen. And actually I've built a whole business around video.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, if I can do it, anyone can. And so that took me to what I'm doing today. I wanted to provide a real life scenario for my clients to be able to implement what they were learning. So they were learning video confidence, video strategy, video marketing, communication skills. And I thought the best way to help them move forward and get results is to create a channel. So I had to lead, obviously. I couldn't just keep hiding.
Of course.
So, I created a channel. We do all sorts of formats. We adapt to the personality of the host or the panelist. Not everybody wants to be a host. They prefer to be a panelist. We do summits, conferences. We teach people how to host their own shows. And it's just been an amazing journey. Absolutely amazing. They are growing. I am growing. And it's just my mission. I love it.
So is this expert TV channel, is it on YouTube or is it on other channels available or other mediums available?
So it started as a social media channel, a platform on social media, so people can broadcast to all social media channels. Then we also made podcasting available and also written format. So we have a digital magazine. And then a few months back, we started building an app. So we can now broadcast to all TV platforms, like real TV, like Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Android TV. So now the reach is really, really powerful. Phenomenal. And it's incredible. Yeah. So it's amazing.
So now here's the question for you. How does a girl who is camera shy, who I didn't know was camera shy, but who's completely camera shy, it takes 13 hours to record a 15-minute tutorial, go to becoming this internationally known, because you are internationally known, an internationally known celebrity status, expert TV running, host and mentor to lots of entrepreneurs. Where does that fit in? How does that girl go from there? And how do you develop the mindset to go from a camera shy girl to someone who is as confident and as articulate as you are now? That's quite a journey. Someone can look at you now and think, oh, Melanie has a natural talent. She just has natural ability. And yes, natural ability is there, it's present. We can't deny that. But you have to polish that off. You have to face your deepest, darkest demons, and you have to build the confidence to go out in the world and create the life that you have created. So walk us through, how did you work on your mindset? Because externally, everything shows up once you've done work on your mindset. So please talk us through.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. It is about the mindset. You can learn all the communication skills, all the strategies you like, but if you don't work on your mindset, you'll never get there.
Agreed.
So for me, it's been a really, really long journey. But because of that, now I can make it a very brief and enjoyable journey for my clients. And that's something I love, because for me, it's been a struggle until I actually found what worked and what didn't. Because I think when we start this, any type of self-development or any type of up-leveling, we sometimes tend to use a load of strategies, a load of things, the shiny object syndrome.
Yes, everything under the sun.
Exactly, and not everything works for everybody. Yeah. So you need to find what works for you. Once you do that, then it's a different process. And also, very often when we're working on overcoming or facing our fears, there's a side of it is very encouraging, because you do take baby steps and you see results. But on the other hand, it's hard to work on our mindset and to face those things. And also you need to look at why that's happening. I like to always know why in the first place. Am I so shy? Am I always hiding? And of course there's reasons for that. Maybe growing up, those things, and you need to work on so many things. But what I want to share with your audience is that everybody can change. Everybody can change. It takes you wanting to take that first step and committing to doing the work. And you might, fall off the wagon, you might not want to do the work for a week or two or a month, but then you have to go back and do it, because it will mean you're going to transform everything about you. Like when I started, I wanted to make my business work. I wanted to stop feeling like a fraud, because I was helping people do live video or do video in any format, but I wasn't doing video because I was feeling too scared, and that felt so awful. So my first motivator was like, no, I need to be a guide for them. I need to be an inspiration. And what really, really changed everything for me is when I realized that my videos are not about me. I'm simply a vehicle. I happen to have a toolkit, a skill set, some knowledge that is going to help somebody else transform their business or life. And I think when you realize that, oh my goodness, so much pressure, just, you can let go of that pressure, because it's not about you anymore.
Agreed.
It's about sharing that skill set you have, or that gift, or whatever you want to call it, and putting it out there for the world to be able to access it
and to receive from you. I think that is such a beautiful way to say it. And I think if I look back in my journey, especially being the online space journey, and in video in particular, I've always been an orator, so speaking has never been a problem, coming from the legal background. But videos were never my area, it's never, I was very comfortable. I remember thinking when the first video, the only thing I had in my mind was people going to think, she's fat like a hippo. And that's the only thing that came to my mind. I thought I was really, really fat, and the camera puts extra 10 pounds on, I'm going to look even fat. That's the only thing that was going through my mind. Bit vain, I know, but that was one of my biggest fears. Now that you say that, it really hit my heart, because when I'm on camera now, and either on live or doing one of those reels or whatever, it's not necessarily about me. It's about what information I can channel through and get across to the audience. And then it's up to the audience, because everyone receives differently, what they're able to take away from that particular video or the live or the podcast or whatever have you. But I'm just being a channel. I'm just going to channel all the information out at that particular moment in time for that to do, for that particular medium or whatever format it's in, and allow people to receive. And when you get to that point, as you just said, that is a major mindset shift from being all about me to, okay, what can I do for other people? And it actually motivates you to do more, because you're no longer thinking about, okay, what am I going to create? What am I going to do? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? That's, I think, as me first starting out as an entrepreneur, like, what can I do to make money? What can I do to make money? Whereas then you're like, okay, money will come. Let me see, what can I do for everyone else? How can I be of the most value? And when you are coming from that mindset, money comes to you of its own, accord. It doesn't bother you. You have to run after it. Money comes to you itself. Have you found that to be the case in your profession?
Absolutely. That is so true, Gull. Once you stop thinking about yourself, you are not the center of the universe. I'm sorry to break it to you.
No, you're not. You're one tiny
you
speck.
are not. I think probably what you said, from a vanity or even from a confidence point of view, you do want to look, the best on video, because that's going to help you communicate more confidently. But it's not about you, and when you realize that, it changes everything. It really does. Because even when you don't feel like doing a video, and let's face it, sometimes you're tired, you have a headache, whatever, the kids are, fighting in the background. But when you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for somebody who needs to hear what you're going to share that day. It just gives you that fuel to do it and to go on. And you stop trying to think about topics because your audience is asking for what they need. So as long as you listen, you'll never run out of topics anymore.
No.
So it just changes everything.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've done less live videos over the last year or so because I've just been busy with my podcast and the book and other things. But I do know that when I do go, and I tend to do more IG lives now, and when I do one of those lives, it's more, there's a topic that people want to talk about, and it's just going live and talking, and then people bring those questions to you. So, okay, what about this, and how about that? And you can just respond back to those questions, and that's your content done, without you having to, think beforehand. And I'm one of those people, I don't think beforehand anyway. I get a topic and I run with it. I don't make bullet points, but usually I haven't even got through the bullet points and people start asking questions, and that decides the direction that particular live or the video is going to go through. This is where the intention is, okay, let me see who can I serve, rather than actually let me see how many people I can attract and bring them into my funnel and get more money out of their pockets. It's a complete different mindset, but the rewards are so much greater when you are there to serve rather than actually to gain something. And I love that. And this is what I've seen especially the recent years, the work you've been doing with the Expert TV. It's all about, okay, who can we serve? How can we promote you? How can we help you? And it's literally bringing the experts to the audience. There are experts out there people are just unaware of. And you want to you connecting the two. The audience has a problem and the expert has a solution. You're trying to bring the two together and to find out, okay, how can we best do this? And that way the audience is served, and so is the expert, because they can actually showcase their expertise, which I think is beautiful. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up now. And tell us, what's your parting thought about working on your mindset? What was one advice you would say has been crucial for you when you've been transforming your mindset?
Well, I would say don't postpone it. Don't let your mindset don't let it be something you will do once you make it, because, in order for you to make it, you need to work on your mindset. The very first thing you need to do. I mean, even before a strategy, I would even say, even before you know exactly what you're going to create, work on your mindset. And then number two is, if you can find somebody to guide you, to mentor you, like you go, it's just going to make the process so much faster, quicker, easier, and even enjoyable.
Agreed.
So don't postpone it.
Agreed. I think this is crucial to know that you, first of all, start now, immediately. And secondly, if you want to cut the time by probably a tenth, if not more, then, I know the people, if I didn't do the work that I did with my mentors, I would not be here right now. I would still be struggling, because I have invested so much money and time going to these retreats and the courses and the weekend courses and the week-long courses and God knows what else. And I'm still constantly learning. I'm still constantly working on myself. But that has meant that my results have come, my business has grown exponentially, and my results are just, have tenfolded over the last couple of years. So I definitely think that's great advice. So Melanie, tell us, where can we connect with you online? How can we find you?
Right, so it's very easy. Just my name. I'm everywhere as Melanie Falvey, or Expert Channel TV, and you can find me there. I'll probably be live streaming.
Most likely. Right. Okay. So if you're listening to this on the podcast on iTunes and Spotify and so forth, then we will have Melanie's links, her website, and all her IG handles, or social media handles, and all the links that she gives to us in the show notes. So do go check that out. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then down below in the description section, again, we'll have all links to Melanie. You want to check her out. She is awesome. And especially if you need some mentoring, if you need some help to be in front of the camera, which if you're an entrepreneur, dude, you need to be on the camera. As simple as that. You can't hide in the background anymore. That's just so they're so gone. We need to see people, audience needs to see who you are. And therefore if you need help in that department, then Melanie, someone I can highly, highly recommend, and go find her and get some help. Right, Melanie, we're going to have you back on our Money Talkie segment, because we have to, find out some golden nuggets of information of how to be good on camera. But please do come back for us on our Money Talkies. But for now, thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gull, for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to me and Melanie today. I will be back on another Friday feature segment, speaking to another amazing guest, finding out how they changed their life by changing their mindset. Until the next time we meet, this is Gull Khan signing off. Take care and bye for now.